and welcome to today's episode of the Kesem Kitchen. I'm your host, Butterfly, and today I am joined with 8 world-class chefs to show you how to make some of their favorite dishes. We have cake, we have waffles, we have hummus, and so many other tasty dishes to show you today. I'm already hungry just thinking about it. So, without further ado, I would like to present our first chef, Chef Nesquik.
Hi campers, it's me Nesquik, and today I'm going to be making some lunch with all of you. A very nutritious and delicious lunch. First, I'm going to measure out 2/3 of a cup of flour. Yes. Alright, put that into our bowl. 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I need a mixy thing. We'll stir those things together. Perfect. 6 tablespoons of butter into a different bowl. 1 tablespoon of water to the butter. 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm going to stir this together a little bit. And now we're going to add our 1 single egg and stir. Alright, now we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of, Nesquik powder. That's me. It's okay if we add a little bit too much, then it'll just be a little chocolatey. Like, extra chocolatey. And we will stir. Now we're going to take the chocolate butter stuff and put it in with the flour. Okay, so we're fast forwarding a little bit. My camera accidentally shut off, and so we missed the footage of me stirring it for the last time and then putting it into the baking thingy, and then I put it into the oven, which is at 350 degrees, and I've let it wait for 18 minutes, and now we're going to pull it out. Alright, and this, my friends, is lunch. I'm just going to let it cool for a while, and while we let it cool, we can work on the other half of this meal. Alright, so now I have one final recipe to show you. It involves filling a glass with milk and then adding Nesquik powder. A healthy amount, of course. And then you stir until it all goes away. But there's more. Strawberry Nesquik. Didn't see that coming, did you? Well, now I guess I will have my meal. Alright, it's donezo. I should probably go brush my teeth.
Thank you, Nesquik, for sharing your delicious Nesquik milk and brownies. Looks like you had a very sweet lunchtime meal. Now, let's hand it off to our next guest, Chef Zucchini.
Hello, and welcome to today's vegetable cooking lesson. Today, it looks like we'll be cooking... Am I reading this right? Zucchini. So let's see how to do this. Step 1. Find 1 zucchini. Easy enough. Getting some zucchini. Empty. Well, good thing I have my trusty zucchini plant. Perfect. A ripe one. Step 1. Complete. Step 2. Cut in circles. Always cut with your fingers like this, so that the knife doesn't hit it. Not like this, because you might cut your fingers off. Step 3. Add olive oil to a pan. Check. Step 4. Add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And whatever else you like. Step 5. Stir. Step 6. Eat. And that, my friends, is how you make a perfect zucchini. Step 7. Wash the dishes.
Thanks, Zucchini. Your dish looked absolutely delicious. A nice side to add to any of your favorite meals. And speaking of favorite meals, our next guest will be sharing her dish that goes with my favorite meal of the day, dessert. Please welcome Chef Gillyweed.
Hello everyone, I'm Gillyweed if you don't know, and today I'm going to be making ice cream. Just plain vanilla ice cream. It's super simple, only 4 ingredients. I don't have an ice cream maker, so I'm going to be making it a different method which takes a little longer, but it's really simple. So what you will need is 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, 2 cups of half and half, 1 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and like a 13 by 9 glass Pyrex, which should have been in like the freezer for like 30 minutes before you start. So let's get started. Now you're just gonna stir it all together until the sugar has dissolved. Alright, so the sugar is completely dissolved now. So I'm gonna go grab the Pyrex that we had in the freezer and then pour this mixture in there. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes. Now what you're gonna wanna do is I'm just gonna take this hand mixer and mix it up a little bit. Okay, yikes, that was really messy, but it's okay. Anyway, now there is cream everywhere, but isn't that just the joy of cooking? Okay, so I'm gonna take this and put it back in the freezer for 30 minutes, and then we are just gonna keep on doing this and repeat.
Thanks, Gillyweed. Your ice cream looked amazing. Now, for our next guest, you know them, you love them. Please give it up for chefs Rojo Suave, RB, and Sergeant Pepperjack. Oh, I need this.
Hi Camp Kesem, it's Rojo Suave here with RB and Sergeant Pepperjack, and with the lovely Rupert. We are making waffles and French toast, and we're going to show you how. Step 1, we're going to start with a French set it all up like this. Then, you're going to take a piece of bread, that way, everyone can have some nice hot French. Let's check in with RB and Sergeant Pepperjack on the waffle.
A little so it gets nice and even, and then I'm gonna add a little more.
The best meals are shared with all your friends and family.
I get loose, I get funky, get your body moving. Wait a minute. Is that recording? You didn't see all that, didn't you? You know what? We're just gonna go to our next guest. Please welcome Chef Otterpop.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Well, since you're here, welcome to my kitchen. You might as well stick around and find out how to make otter pops. Otter pops for me are an old family recipe because, well, I'm Otter Pop. All right, to make an otter pops are kind of like a slushy popsicle juice flavored thing. The recipe's very complicated. 3 ingredients. It's ice. When you're making recipes, it's important that you look at your hands before you start touching things. I already did that. Okay, you want to put some ice in here. There's not exactly a measurement for it. I just kind of do it.
Okay, now you get to watch me put ice in this blender in fast motion. Ice, do, getting more ice. Oh, there it is. Okay, look at how much ice I have as I show you my ice.
Okay. The second ingredient, also crucial, there's only 3 ingredients, so they're all kind of crucial, is juice.
Okay, now I'm gonna go get some juice. That's the next most crucial ingredient. Here's my juice. I really like apple juice. Here I am just talking about apple juice, how much I love apple juice. I talk about the benefits of apple juice. Oh, not sponsored. Treetop does not sponsor this. Just a reminder.
Apple juice works great because it's clear.
Yeah, so
when we put our third ingredient
here I
in,
go.
that'll be
I
even
think I'm
less
gonna maybe pour some juice now. There, yep, there we have it. And just add it on in there as much as you want.
Now this is the fun part, but also the loud part. This is also a self-produced show, so I am the filmer and the chef.
Okay, now that you've gotten to see the lovely view up my nose, now we can watch this ice and apple juice blend in fast motion. Blending kind of always looks like it's in fast motion, so this doesn't really look any different, but this does help speed along the video because it was really long and I recorded the blending of the ice and the apple juice for a long time. Okay, now we're going to look at it. It looks pretty slushy, but still a little bit chunky, so now I am going to blend it some more. But this time we're going to watch it from the back. Ooh, multiple angles. Ooh, okay. I think maybe I told a joke at that moment, but now we'll never know. And now we just watch it. Yep, just keep watching it. We're using the pulse function so that you can kind of crush up your ice a little bit more, get that more ideal slushy consistency that you're looking for in your Otter Pop. Here we go. I think I am satisfied with this. Yep. Okay. Now I show it to you. There you see a slushy consistency. And here.
There we go. That's the inside. As you can see, it's a pretty like slushy consistency. So now that you have the slushy consistency, you're going to want to put them in some sort of container that you can freeze, as we're going to stick this in the freezer. Fun fact, I got the name Otter Pop because one of my fun facts about myself is that I really like popsicles. So I have these handy little popsicle makers.
Alright, so you're just watching me fill up the popsicle containers with the slushy consistency to form our Otter Pops. This is a moment that probably didn't really require a voiceover. I just really enjoy doing these voiceovers. It makes me feel very professional.
Alright, I am grabbing a straw, just because you're going to want something that can function as a stirrer. I'm going to push the blender kind of out of the way here. There you go. Okay. So, we're going to start with some yellow, or orange, I guess. Place a few drops. I just did 3. That's probably way too many. And then you're just going to stir them on up.
Okay, so when I was making this video on my phone, you could actually see what I was doing. But now that the video is in the movie maker, you can't see any of the important part. So that's the beauty of the voiceover. I can tell you what I'm doing. I am just stirring up the food dye into the slushy consistency to give each of them a unique color, just like real Otter Pops. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing that. You can kind of make it fun and use whatever color combination you want. And yeah, stirring really, really fast. And now still stirring. There's 6 of them. That was a lot to stir. And we're good.
We have our 6 different colors, and we're just gonna plop these little guys in. They're in the freezer. Gonna let them sit. Hey everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Although instead of being in my kitchen, we are actually on my front porch, just in case this next part of our cooking show gets a little messy. So we froze our Otter Pops for like an hour, 2 hours, I think. And now we're ready to take them out. So let's see how this goes. All right, so here's our first one. And here we have it, our green otter pop. Woo! Okay, let's see how the rest turned out.
All right, it's Otter Pop from outside the video. I'm back and we are revealing Otter Pop colors. What will happen next? Oh, well, I already know because I'm outside the video.
Okay.
Red. What will be next? I'm guessing blue. Ooh, it's stuck. Oh, I was right. What a shock. Okay. And for our fifth
red,
Otter
orange
Pop,
one?
we have red, orange. And our last one, drum roll, please. Blue, green.
All right, I'm gonna try this one. They're pretty good. I'd give it a thumbs up. The food coloring will stain your teeth. And I'd recommend adding a lot of juice because these are pretty icy. Okay, bye.
Thanks, Otter Pop. I absolutely loved the vibrant colors on your Otter Pops. Perfect for a nice summer day. Now, for our next guest, please welcome Chef Chickpea.
Hey Kesem fam, it's Chickpea. I am going to be making hummus with chickpeas today. And so what we've got, rundown of the ingredients, we've got chickpeas in here. They've been soaked and pressure cooked. We've got some turmeric, sesame seeds, red pepper powder, garlic powder, salt, and olive oil, and a NutriBullet. That's all we need, plus some water. So what I'm going to do first is drain the chickpeas. Got my handy colander. So what you can actually do, so here's my chickpeas in the colander. What you can actually do is sometimes, well, all the time, you can save the water that comes out of your chickpea can or out of the chickpea water when you soak them. And it's called aquafaba. And you can bake with them. We made cookies with them once. And rinsing the chickpeas, letting the water fall out, and I am going to move them into my handy NutriBullet pot. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay, and now we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of water. So we got one. And what we're gonna do is add in some garlic powder. Just a tad. I'm not really keeping track of anything. I'm gonna add some red pepper. I like my things spicy, so kind of gonna put a lot of that in. We can always add more later too. No biggie, no pressure. Some sesame seeds. I've never done this one before, but heard that I should. So got some salt. I'm a big salt girl, so gotta get that salt in. Some turmeric just for color, for not really for flavor, but it's supposed to be good for you, so you know. Some tahini, and I haven't used tahini before because it's kind of like a fancy item, but I've got some of it, so I'm just gonna put in a teaspoon of it. Okay, and now I'm just gonna blend it right up. Okay, I should probably close the fridge. It's bad. Always gotta keep the fridge closed to save energy. Okay, so here's the consistency. Pretty thick. It's not fully mashed. Definitely needs more salt. Okay. Gonna add in, lemon juice. what we need. You actually need 2. Okay, so I had forgotten my lemon juice, and now I'm gonna put in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Okay, I just finished my second blend, and this is what it's looking like. A lot better with the lemon. Texture's a little off, which I think is because I soaked the chickpeas for too long, but I'm pretty happy. So, there you go. That's my chickpea hummus.
Thanks, Chickpea. Your hummus looked so tasty. Now, please welcome our next guest, Chef Lingo.
Hey, it's Lingo. Welcome to my messy kitchen. I haven't really learned the skill of cleaning up as I go along yet. One of my housemates is really big on that, but I'll learn with time. So here I'm making a mulberry crumble. These are some fresh mulberries that my friend and I picked at the Student Organic Garden in Berkeley the other day. They're kind of like blackberries, but they have this like certain tanginess to them that's really delicious. Over here I have a mixture of oats and butter and sugar and flour. And that is going to become the crispy bottom of it. So I'm gonna scoop that in here right now. I wish that you could lick the bowl, but unfortunately this is virtual. But I'll taste it and let you know. Yeah, tastes like sugar and butter and flour. Can't really go wrong with that. So this is gonna be the bottom crust layer. I'm gonna bake it a little and then I'll take it out and I'll add the mixture of the berries with some lemon juice and sugar. And the rest of this mixture is gonna go on top as like a little crumble. So I'm just pressing it down. Don't worry, I did wash my hands. So I'm going camping this weekend for my housemate's birthday, and we're gonna bring this on the camping trip, and it's gonna be better than a cake because you can it's gonna be cut into squares and then we can take it with us. Okay, then that's ready to go. That's the crust. I'm gonna put that in the oven. Here I have a mixture of the mulberries with some flour, some cornstarch, some lemon juice, a little bit of sugar, and I'm pouring it on top. I baked the crust a little bit, and I'm pouring it on top of this crust. Getting that juice to kind of go into the crust a little bit, spreading it out. So this is the rest of that crumble mixture that I didn't put into the bottom yet, and I'm gonna crumble it on top of my berry situation. And this is gonna be like that crumbly layer on the top of the squares. Just sort of sprinkle it around. It's good that there's clumps because that's the like juicy, buttery, crunchy bits that you'll get when you, well, not you unfortunately, but the people who eat these will get when they eat them. Here is the finished product. All toasted up, and I made a little bit of mulberry jam with the extra
Lingo, your mulberry crumble looked exquisite. And now, last but most certainly not least, give it up for our final guest of the day, Chef Taza.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Taza's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making Earl Grey tea cake with none other than Taza tea. So this is what you'll need. This recipe, you're gonna want 1 cup of all-purpose flour, half a cup of white sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of plain yogurt, half a cup of vegetable oil, half a cup of applesauce, some salt, which we're gonna add just a pinch of, 2 eggs, and then of course our tea, and we're also going to use a half teaspoon of both baking soda and baking powder. And then I have this cooking spray out to grease our pan, and we'll also want a large bowl for mixing, a whisk, a spatula, some measuring cups, some measuring spoons, a pair of scissors, and then a piece of parchment paper which should fit. You'll want to cut it so that it fits the inside of your loaf pan like this. Okay, first things first, we're gonna come to the oven and we're going to set it for 325 degrees, and then we'll leave it to heat up while we make the rest of the cake. Alright, so first things first, before we start baking, I'm going to put my hair up and put an apron on to make sure that we don't get too messy in the kitchen. And I have my handy dandy apron right here. Voila! And then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grease our pan. So remember, I have this loaf pan here, and I'm going to kind of cheat and just use cooking spray, but I'm just going to make sure that all the sides are evenly coated. And then I'm going to put the parchment paper in so that, and the reason why you want a little bit to overhang is because you can lift the cake out when it's done. Okay, so we have that ready, the oven's preheating, and now we are ready to mix. The first thing is we're going to pour in our 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And we're also going to add a pinch of salt, and then we're going to measure out a ½ teaspoon of baking powder. So I have my measuring spoons here, and most baking powders have this the container has kind of a straight edge right here, and so you can go like that to make sure that you just have enough. So we're doing a ½ teaspoon of that, and then my family stores our baking soda in mason jars, so that's what this is. And that we're just gonna shake out, ½ teaspoon, lovely. And then we're going to mix that all together until it's well combined. All right, so the next step is that I've cracked my 2 eggs into this bowl, and then I'm going to add both the white sugar, so that's a ½ cup of white sugar, and I'm going to add a ½ cup of brown sugar to my bowl. So you can see that's being added there. And then this is really important, so you need to whisk it for a full minute. So you're gonna set a timer and then whisk until the eggs become kind of frothy, but 1 minute should do it. So that's what we'll do now. Okay, so now my eggs and sugar are all whipped up, and I'm going to pour in the 1 cup of plain yogurt, and I'm going to whisk that to the mix. This is a part where you can use your spatula to get everything that's in the bowl. All right, so we've got most of it, and now we're going to whisk again. All right, so the next step is really important when we're making our tea cake. We're going to use, of course, our Tazo Earl Grey tea. And what we're going to do is I have my 4th cup measuring cup out, and I'm going to tear open as many tea packets as it takes to fill this up. And so we take the tea bag out. We want to make sure we get the string out of the way, and then we'll use our scissors to cut across the tea bag. And so you should have a nice cut like that, and then it'll just pour into your measuring cup, and we'll do that until we fill up our measuring cup. So now I have my 1/4 cup of Earl Grey tea. There you are. And I'm going to add it to my wet ingredients. And it might look funny at first because it's a bunch of dark, oh, my finger's in the video. But so now it's making this speckled batter. And my bowl is spinning, and then we're going to add in, and I forgot to mention that you'll need this, but we need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So we're gonna measure out 1, dump it in, measure out 2 teaspoons. And then we're going to whisk that all together. And we're going to slowly pour in our oil while we're whisking. So I'm whisking, and I'm adding in my oil, mixing all the while. And if you don't have applesauce at home, you can just use 1 full cup of vegetable oil instead of a ½ cup of vegetable oil and a ½ cup of applesauce. But I'm gonna now pour in my ½ cup of applesauce. And I'll use my spatula to scrape and make sure I get all of it. Wonderful. And now I'm going to add in the dry ingredients and mix until it's combined. So okay, so you should be left with kind of a thick speckled batter like this. And our last step is to, well, I guess it's our second to last step. We're going to use our spatula to pour it into our loaf pan, which is ready for us. And so we will do that. And just make sure you're getting the edges. You want to make sure all that batter goes into that loaf pan. Fabulous, fabulous. Yum. Oh, I got a little edge that I didn't see there. Okay, so now my bowl is pretty much clean and everything is in my pan. And I'm just going to kind of smooth it out with my spatula so that we get a nice even top. And then I have some sugar over here, and just for a little bit of extra sweetness, I'm going to sprinkle some of that sugar right on top of the cake. Voila! Just enough so that there's maybe like a little bit of crunch at the top of the cake. Okay, so now your cake should look something like this. And we're gonna walk over to the oven, which has been preheating, and carefully put the cake in the oven, and now we wait. All right, now it's been just under an hour. It's been like 55 minutes, and we're gonna check on our cake. So I have an oven mitt. I'm opening up the oven. It looks pretty good. And the way to check if it's baked all the way through is I have a skewer here. I'm gonna push it down all the way into the bottom of the cake, and it comes out clean, as you can see, which means we're good. And I'll take the cake out, close and turn off the oven. And then the nice thing about having this extra parchment paper here is you can just pull it out like this and leave it to cool on a wire rack. And then once it's all the way cooled, you can cut it, enjoy it with a cup of tea, for breakfast, for dessert, whatever. And you've got an Earl Grey tea cake. And now it's time to cut. Ooh, ah. And you can enjoy it with a cup of tea. Are you excited? For the tea cake? Tazo's tea cake? Say goodbye. Say goodbye.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have left today, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Butterfly, and this is the Kesem Kitchen. Hope to see you soon. Bye!